Okay. Let's go for a spin, boys and girls. Sorry about not making a video yesterday. I was being busy doing my wife's bidding.
Pause in activity.
Oh, all right. That's a good idea. Oh, starting up the, what's that? Okay, starting up the Jeep in the house before I get out. Okay, forgot the Windex part. But it won't make any difference. Hang on. Oh, just start it. There we go. That's as close as I can get to Windex. Well, that'll dry off in a minute. We'll get some heat going here. It's 6 degrees out. How good is that? Today, I was put to work peeling potatoes for shepherd's pie. The onions, you know, all the bits and baubles. Celery. What else was there? Onion. Anyway, that's for lunch. I had to get an escape. So what we're going to do is just going to go, we're not going to go down where I was cutting yesterday, or the day before. We're just going to go for a trip down and see if the beaver's back or not. That's all I frickin' need. So, I got to go out later and get rid of that rattling in the back there. We're giving our son a bunch of stuff that we're emptying out the, oh, for frick's sakes, I'm going to have to fix that. Hang on a second. Here, I'll take you down to the woods first. Let that thing rattle around some more. But that was an interesting little trip into that hidden area there. And I suspect the guy was growing pot, maybe. Who knows? Can't say for sure. And I say that because it's kind of a hidden area. And the fact that there was a, must have had a pump going there because he had those, that irrigation hose. Let me go and see what's going on with this here back here first. I don't want to listen to that rattle everywhere I go. Okay, we figured it out. There was one of those old, you remember when the economy flash or lights first came out? It's one of those ones with those fluorescent tubes that were supposed to go in the light sockets. Those curly ones. Rolling around in a bowl, like a small fish bowl. There, that's fixed. That sounds better. Alright, let's keep our eyes open. Let's see what we can spot here today. In the old Foristo. Oh, and thank you, Keith, for sending me the Amazon link to the oyster grit. I'll check that out later. Once I find out what it's actually worth in a few spots, then I can go and get the cheapest stuff. I'm also wondering if that mixed bird feed, you know, the stuff that's got the little, what do you call it? The little seeds, the little tiny golden round ones. And there's sunflowers and there's some other stuff in there. I don't know what's all in it. It's a wild bird mix. I wonder if that would work. We'll figure it out. Oh, there's a dead one there. I want to try to keep the all the dead trees, just keep them cut down to the ground, knocked down, so they're not sitting up in the air. There was one of them back there. They're all over the place, actually. Here, I'll give some more, another shot. There, that's not bad. And let's see what's going on here. Nothing. Just the way I like to see it. Now I can't say for sure if there's not beavers there, because beavers don't necessarily have to dam something up. Because we got these river beavers that just live into the bank. And on another channel, and that guy's worth watching too, is Shawn James. And he's got 2 channels that he puts out. And I can't remember the name of the other one, but from the Shawn James one, he's a Canadian guy who bought a piece of property out in the middle of nowhere. It's quite remote. And I think it comes up pretty close to Algonquin. Sorry about the pronunciation. Algonquin National Park in Ontario. And he builds about 95% of the stuff he makes by hand. And he lives out there now. So it's quite interesting. He's building a workshop now, and he's trying to get the roof on it before the snow hits out there. And Cecil Skinner, he's kind of like the rural hero. His channel, this guy can fix freaking near anything. 30, 40-year-old snowmobiles, old ATVs, trucks, cars, as well as bulldozers, tractors. It's a good knowledge of all these wonderful things. But it's a wet area down here too. Now up here on the GONB.ca, I think it is. But if you look up, search for GONB, you can get to see New Brunswick and who owns all the land. Not their actual names, but what you'll get to see is the property and what they're paying for taxes. So on GONB, you can click on these different layers, and the Watershed Layer, there's a little creek that runs through here, of which I took a picture of here before, that dumps into this beaver dam. right here. And it's not much of a little creek, actually. But I suppose it rips through that culvert there in the springtime. It's enough to get the water in there. Oh, it's nice and warm in here now. The benefits of starting it before I left. Tomorrow, I probably get the seeds out of these gourds that she got from her mother, and we're going to be making a gourd patch next year, so we can have gourds to share with the people around, which is nice. And I sure do like to get back down there and check out on that beaver dam, see if the water's going up. But we're going to be going out in about another hour or so, so I wanted to get this video done before we took off. And I'm going to have to come down here and see if I can get my son to let me use his brush cutter there he's got. Unless he brings it himself. It's one of those ones that has a saw blade on, like a skill saw blade, and it'll cut all that crap off on the sides there down, and then just come down another day and pick it up and throw it in the woods. But he's a pretty busy boy. He just got laid off, and he's got to look after his woman and the grandkids there, my grandkids. So they don't have a lot of time for much. Interesting. And yes, it would be nice to be able to come out here and make a lot of trails, but my property's only so wide. And if I leave the property with the trail, that makes it more accessible to others to come and walk in here, and I don't want anybody in here. I'm hoping my son will get the next property over, and then that will really expand. Then we can make some trails. Who knows, maybe we can get a bulldozer in here and join this part of the property up with the property next to us. Because there is a road that runs part way down through it. If you look on Google Map or Google Earth or GeoNB, you can see where there was a road at one point going down there. Now it would probably take us maybe a bush hog, who knows. But I sure do like coming down here. There's a couple more trees. There's a lot of trees got bashed up down here for some reason. They must have done that when they were logging. Get some big scars on them. Maybe I could start thinking about if I was to cut down here, how to get the logs back, or the wood back up to the house for firewood. And I checked my weight today. I've gained about 7 or 8 pounds. So that means I gotta ramp up my exercising a little better. I'm not getting enough input's not equaling the output. I suppose I'm going to be struggling all my life with, or the rest of my life, with weight. I'm not too concerned. I still eat what I want. And we'll go from there. You can see the road is getting soft. I'm not going down the other place there, because I don't want to, it's already soft. It's like driving on the lawn. You can only drive on the same spot for so long, and then you kind of you kill all the grass, and then I don't want to do that. But, yes, our province has got 71 cases or 75 cases of COVID right now. And they have it all sectioned off into areas in the province. And south of us, the overall St. John and Moncton region has all gone into orange, and they're limiting everybody for the size of the gatherings until we can get the numbers down again. It only takes one character to ruin it for everybody else. Now, where's that little creek? There it is. It's not much. Yes, sirree. Now, down here, it's very common that most people burn in their fireplaces hardwoods, be it ash, beech, all that, maple, oak. But we have a lot of softwoods here that I could burn too. I think the problem would be mostly is creosote building up in the fireplace. And I don't burn softwoods, but there's hardly any creosote in our chimney, even after we were burning some green hardwood. Now, there might not be enough creosote in hardwood to get stuck up in the old chimney, but I think it would be a good idea to check it out. On the west coast, they don't have any hardwoods to speak of. They probably have some birch, a little bit of ash, maybe, alders, aspen. That's about it. It's mostly poplar, Douglas fir, and all those pines and whatnot. And I don't know if they have a problem with creosote or not. So, man, I like it down here. Now, I don't want to get into big time feeding wildlife down here, because that could cost quite a bit of money. I have bought before a bag of corn and oats, stuff like that. We were using the oats to help stabilize a bank because it grows real fast. And I just dumped it out on the end of Lover's Lane so that we could watch the deer come in. And boy, I was surprised. There sure was a lot of deer coming into that. And then after that, the birds came. But the price of feed and everything has gone crazy. It's mental. So this is great. There's no beaver activity. Come down here and start a big fire, clean this mess up. And since I drained it, we've got grass growing up like crazy. Well, there used to be grass there, but after I drained it, that'd be sometime in July, I noticed that the grass was growing up there real fast. But I would like to get in here and, I don't know, just cut those sticks down to the ground and clean it up and get rid of a lot of this crap. Then if I took a rake or something like that and leveled it off and smoothed it down a bit, when the grass did come, it would look pretty nice in there. But I don't think there's any beavers because they would be here. They would be busy. You know, busy beavers? Now, if you look on Google Maps and you find the property, this rock here, this big round rock, you can see that. And it's the end of where the snake of the big curve is, but you can't tell from there that there's a creek running through here. And this is the best brook, actually. It's called Jim Brook. And I laugh because up here, where you come into the woods, there's another little brook, but not as big as this one. And I called it Bob's Brook. So if you go downstream of here, you can see before the water leaves the property, there's the confluence of the Jim Bob Creek, or the Bob Jim. I think it's Jim Bob would sound better, where they join up together. I have a old video, if you go back in the videos with the dogs, when Storm was a puppy, we went down there and seen it. That was pretty cute. He's a pretty brave little feller back then. He was quite cautious about how deep the water was when he was stepping his paws into it. It was pretty cute. But he found a submerged log and he walked across the creek instead of falling in, and then he jumped up onto the other side. That was cute. Now you notice this was cleaned up quite a bit. I didn't even notice that stupid stick sticking up there. But let's keep our eyes peeled. There's a good chance we'll spot a chicken out here today. And this looks really nice when you look into the woods here. I'll just go slow because there's nothing much up front. Look at the size of that stump, or that what's left over that log. That's pretty close to 20 inches maybe. And here's an old trail, see? And there's some stumps farther back in there. That's how they got in to the property. And in some of the maps, the older maps that I got, you can see the herringbone. But a lot of the old stumps are rotting pretty quick. And here's one that got broken, but it's still alive. And there's all kinds of cedars in this end. There's another trail. There's a big menagerie there. That's a cedar. All twisted up. And see these two cedars laying here. That's future kindling. But you can see all the old stumps in there where they've taken out the wood. And straight back in here, there was a whole bunch of red pine that are dead. So there's more wood. They may have been killed off by beavers in there too. Way back in there. But I didn't want to cut them until we had a way to get them out. This is all cedar. Get in there and make some, who knows, maybe I will. I'll go in there and make some trails and hopefully I can get the deer onto them, and then they will keep it from growing over. You're gonna hear a plane. So I like to cut all this out of here, clean it up. And then from here you can't really see in there because it's so thick. But the idea of the bush hogging is just to keep so we don't lose the fields, because they will grow up in no time. After 3 years, we've got 1-inch trees growing up in the middle of this thing. That looks like a roadway in there too. Have to go and chase that. Okay, let's just keep puttering our way back up the hill here. There's the boys up in the knoll on the right. They were pretty agitated earlier. There's an old dog down the road here, on the other, down past the bridge down at the bottom up the other side. And the old fella, he's going to be turning 80 this year, not sure when. He walks all this up here. He puts on a couple of miles, 4 or 5 miles every day. Knock on wood, good for him. Looks like I'll end up having to do that myself. And the old dog follows him. So if the boys spot them, because that's where they watch, people going by the roads, they get agitated. It's nice out today. Oh, it's only 1 degree down here. I could probably clean that wagon out, hook it on the back of the Jeep to bring firewood up to the house, but this is the only vehicle we got, and I don't want to turn it into a lumber wagon. And that's a steep hill. And I believe hunting season's over. So that's just, not sure if all the seasons are over, but I think that's the end of deer season. Which means a lot less traffic on the road. Now I have to go back in my pictures, but I believe we had 3 feet, 4 feet of snow here last year at this time. These guys are all done. And maybe tomorrow I'll clean out our fireplace out, and I'll throw all those hot coals on the fire pit outside and see if I can get that thing lit. I'd like to get that burnt down. Okay, let's go in the house seat. We're going out later, so. Now you folks, all have a great day. Enjoy the moment. We're in some pretty iffy times. We need to, everybody needs to be vigilant. I don't want anybody getting that COVID. So that's something that I'd wish on my enemy. There we go. Put the old masks away. Okay, here we go. Wow, stiff. Oh, boys, here's the door slamming. Okay, I'm heading her in. And the wind is from the northeast. Northeast. Okay, anyway,